Hi, this is Wayne McGuire from GI Developments. I'm just going to show you the Grant UK smart controller device. The purpose of the video really is for my consumers or my customers that have had these installed to have to keep trying to work out how the system works or remember how to alter settings and timings. So yeah, we'll just get straight into it. So when you arrive to the controller, you'll just see it in sleep mode, giving an outside temperature, inside temperature where the controller is itself, and the time and the date. Just tap the screen. So now we are seeing heating temperature. So we've got a sensor in a different room, and it's showing that it's 19.1 degrees in that room, and the desired temperature that we've got it at is 19.4. So with the red squiggles at the top right, that is telling us that the heating, or that there is a demand to the heat pump, whether it's heating or hot water. That is another thing that we'll look at in a bit. We're connected to the net because we're green on the net, and then we've got the outside temperature there. If you want to do anything with the heating settings, tap the screen in the middle as I did. You can turn the temperature up and down. If you pop there, you can see that the circuit name has all been preset by the commissioning engineer. The hysteresis is all preset. Then it's got the present day temperature set point and the present night setback. The word night sometimes complicates things, depends on what tariff you're on. You might want to use the night setback sometimes in the day, like I do at home, because we're on a Octopus Cozy tariff, and between 4 PM and 7 PM we get charged quite a high rate for our electricity because Octopus don't want us using power then, so they charge us a higher rate, but we get a cheaper rate at other points of the day at 12 pence or 25 pence. And then you've got your heating curve, and it's just telling you what the heating curve has been set by the engineer. When you push the top button, we were on auto. The system's already been set up for weather compensation, so it's running based on the outside temperature. It adjusts the flow temperature to the pipework within the heating system, and that's what keeps the house warm. If you want to turn your heating entirely off, you can push off. Day mode just means it'll be on the day preset temperature, which was 19.5 if you remember, or night mode, which was 19.4 at the moment. We're in February at the minute, so we've had probably 4 or 5 days of about 3 degrees. So I've got the difference between the two fairly low because we don't want the heat pump to have to do an awful lot of work to bring the house back up to a comfortable temperature. So I just leave mine on auto. Don't know what it was doing there. And then hot water. So just to confirm, top one being heating data, bottom being hot water. So it's telling us that the sensor in the cylinder is saying that it's 45 degrees and the set point is 51. It will only start recharging the hot water cylinder when the hysteresis, which is the set point, 51 degrees, and the difference between what has been preset in there by the commissioning engineer, myself, which is 7 degrees. So we want, if it was 50 degrees, it'll only reheat when it gets down to 43, because we don't want it cutting on and off from hot water all the time because it's inefficient for the heat pump to do that. So we allow it to drop in temperature to use all the hot water before we ask the heat pump to recharge the hot water cylinder. If you want to alter your settings, tap the front of the screen, top button, you've got boost, so you can, without the timing settings, you can boost the hot water, but remember it won't reheat if it's not out of that hysteresis zone, i.e. below 43 degrees, it still wouldn't come on. You can have it permanently on if you wanted, but again, I would encourage people to use heat pump tariffs, so that you've got your hot water being charged up again from times that it's cheaper to use the energy, and that way you'll get the best benefit out of using a heat pump. So yeah, use it on scheduled, and then you can go into your schedules, which I'll show you shortly. So there's your domestic hot water hysteresis, which I mentioned, the 7 degree difference, and the disinfection. I've got switched off at home because we use vast amounts of water, and disinfection is to do with Legionella, which will probably be on in most circumstances. What that does is it raises the water temperature over a point where Legionella can be killed off once a week for 1 to 2 hours. Now we'll look at the timings. Heat source is the air source heat pump, and that is on just continually. That's the way I'm running mine at present. You can, should you wish, if you are on the Cozy tariff, Octopus Cozy, or another tariff similar to that, and you didn't want your heat pump coming on no matter what at a given time between, say, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m, which is what I said previously in relation to how we run ours at home, you could just come across to here, press off, and you just cursor across to 7, and then you've got to go across into the 7 to 7:30 p.m, and then just push back on, and then that will make sure the heat pump will not come on no matter what in those periods, unless it's in a freeze protection mode. And if you want to copy those to each day, you just literally light up all the days and press the tick, which I don't want to do because I'm going to leave mine as it was before. So I'm just going to go back and put that back as it was. Then you've got your domestic hot water. As I'm on the Cozy tariff, we've got ours set to only recharge at given points of the day when our energy is cheaper. So from 4 till 7 a.m. it might well recharge. From 10 in the middle of the day, I think it is. No, it's not. It's from 1 till 4. Yeah, 1 till 4. And then later in the day from 10 p.m. till 12 at night. And that is set every day like that. So if we've used our hot water, we've got plenty of hot water, that would only reheat later in the day. So we just adjust our use in the home so that we know that if we're all showering at the end of the day, then, you know, to be sensible with the amount of time you're using in there, otherwise we're going to use more energy, and that's the way we try to use it. Of course, if you want to change anything, you can light all of the days up and press tick. If you want to copy everything to all the days, you can go into the heating now at the bottom, which is whole house, the way I've got my marked up, and you can see the red is defining the day setting and the blue is defining the night setback. And if you can remember, I'd set ours from 19.5 in the day at the moment to 19.4. I will alter that as the spring kicks in or as the weather changes slightly, so that the setback is probably about 1 degree less, maybe more, as we go through into the slightly milder sort of spring weather. Just so that you're not asking your heat pump to do too much to raise it back up to those comfortable temperatures you want, because a heat pump will not give you imminent heat. It wants slow and steady so it can be efficient. So that's how we run ours. Again, making sure that it's not on the day set point between the high energy use period, which is for us between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. at night, but you can run that exactly how you wish. User settings is just data ultimately in here, but if you want to, you can scroll down through these screens or flick up the screen. It will just tell you basic data on there. This is all to do with the Wi-Fi settings. You won't have to touch any of this. information if you're asked to look at any information, but all the information can be analysed remotely anyway. Diagnostic information, you can see your current hot water temperature, your set point, whether it's in demand on hot water or not. You can tell that also by these green valves. If it's green above towards the water drip point, then it's recharging hot water. You can see that it's in heating mode at the moment. You've got what power consumption's being pulled currently, what heating power it's giving, your COP, so that's the efficiency between the amount of energy that's being drawn to the amount of power that the heat pump is actually delivering. You can see ours is quite high, which is really good. So if you want to work out, if you're paying 25 pence for your electricity and you're buying 1 kilowatt of energy, you divide that by your SCOP, which is your COP, sorry. COP is now, SCOP is over the year. So divide that by your COP, and then you know you're paying about 5 pence for your electricity, just below that, 5.33, so yeah, just below 5 pence. Average COP, here we are, just below 5 pence, so pretty good. And then you can divide that, if you're using a cosy tariff also, you'll be paying 12.7p at some points of the day, so divide that by the 5, so quite cheap to heat your hot water. Total energy you've consumed, total energy on heating, total energy on hot water. Quite good information if you're wanting to be conservative when you're using the heat pump. So current thermostat temperature, preset temperatures, preset, that's your flow temperature. So just data, you shouldn't have to fiddle with it. What your speed is of your fan, your frequency of your compressor, so how hard it's working to generate that power. You'll notice that change throughout the year. As it becomes milder, it wouldn't have to work quite so hard. So you've just got your inlet temperature to the heat pump and your outlet temperature, looking for about a 5 degree difference, probably will be around there somewhere if designed and installed correctly. And that's that. As part of the smart controller system, you can have remote access to all of the parameters that are set within this controller via the EchoNet system. You can get a login for, and also you can allow your engineer access so that they can alter the settings if you're in a bit of desperate need, a bit of support as well, which I love about this system. So yeah, I've been using that readily for customers, and the feedback's really good. So not only are they able to see the data, they allow me the access, and I can check things over should they have any concerns. I think the kettle's just boiled, so I'm going to have a cup of tea.